Okay, I have been pretty fruitful in my pursuit of making videos on YouTube lately because I just enjoy the process so much. None of my Half-Life videos, which I spend a lot of time on, have gained any views at all. All of them are at zero at this point of time. But I had the blast, therefore I decided to keep on going. And right now we are trying something else. We are trying to look at the news right now in the gaming industry, in the gaming culture, and I shall provide you with the insight of the old timer. You see, I have been a part of the community for quite a long time. I know plenty of developers, uh, you know, their culture, their preferences, and I will share my opinion with you concerning these news. The first news on the block is, of course, Civilization 7 release, and Civilization 7 release went badly, if I heard correctly. Of course, I live in Russia, therefore I can't see the page of Civilization 7 on Steam because it is blocked on our market. But the problem with the Civilization 7 most likely is that all the Civilization games start poorly. Civilization 6 started better than Civilization 5, but they are pretty much pointless to play on release. And the main point is that it is always the case, and it is always the case that the previous games with all of its DLC has much more content and more variety than the most recent game without DLC. So it will remain this way for some time, a couple of years maybe. It happened with Civilization 5, the game I adore. And Civilization 5 was poorly received. There were multiple reasons for it. It was really hard on your hardware, at least on mine it was. It was poorly balanced, and there was a lack of content. One of the win conditions was basically building an Illuminati in the you just build it in a city. It is kind of stupid. And we had fun with my friends when we played it, and then we bought the DLC out of the money that we got from Dota. We sold the items we got in Dota at the marketplace, and we bought the items. My friend bought me the Brave New World DLC, which I am eternally grateful to, and it was awesome. I had 800 hours in Civ 5. It is my favorite Civilization game. Civilization 6 I didn't enjoy as much because it has some issues. Of course, main issue was that it was costly on release. It was pointless for us. We were just getting into Civ 5, and most of the life cycle of Civ 6 when it had new content every several months. We just were playing Civ 5. It was good. It was a fun game. If you look for a game to play with your friends when you can shit talk at each other, this is the best game to choose, I believe, because you can always role play as the world leaders. And the global politics are always messy, they're always dirty. Therefore, when you sow discontent between your competitors on the market, on the lobby, it is a winning strategy. And after the game is over, I like to believe that my friends and I have a decency and enough culture to shake the hands and believe that all the shit talking was left in the game, and we have no personal grudges at each other whatsoever. It is a great game. Play any Civilization game. And Civilization 6 was, once again, it was tiresome for my hardware. It had this Pixar or DreamWorks esque kind of style to it. The style of the world leaders, the style of the units. I didn't enjoy it as much. There was a lot of more of the random elements introduced in the game, so it was annoying too, and the game became overly complicated in some things that I didn't enjoy as much. But it has variety in terms of the world leaders. It has fucking ton of them. It's great. So Civ 6 is not terrible, even though for me Civ 5 is preferable. But I wouldn't. Uh, it's most likely I will not find anyone to play Civ 5 nowadays with maybe one friend. But Civ 6 is much easier to get into. Now, one of my friends recently got into the series, and he's having a blast right now. I'm really happy to see that. So I'm trying to indulge him as well, joining the games, trying for him to get into the Civilization games so we can enjoy them together. And Civilization 7, it has a lot of good decisions. I believe it is not over. We'll see how it will look as the time goes on. But right now, if you want to play a Civilization game, just look up for market. Either buy it on your phone, because I heard that the phone versions have pretty much all the functionality of the PC version, and you can always try and buy the key for the Steam for your region in the net. Just look for the seller. It is always cheaper, and you will enjoy yourself most likely. That is Civilization 7. Another news is Overwatch. Overwatch. Overwatch brings back loot boxes. And I am one of the few people who will say thank God, because it was my main problem with Overwatch 2 when it was released. Even though it is still makes me internally cringe call Overwatch 2 Overwatch 2. It is like Counter-Strike 2. It is not a sequel. It is a patch. It doesn't add that much content to earn, the respect of the new game. I really miss Counter-Strike Global Offensive, especially the beta version of it, and now I can't play it at all. That's a bummer. Counter-Strike is really bad nowadays for me. And Overwatch, I am one of the few poor people who, despite all the terrible, terrible, terrible things, the mountains of terrible decisions that developers made over the years, I still think that below all of that there is a really fun game, still hidden below. I played the game just today. I installed the most recent patch, and yeah, you can have fun in the game. It's easy, and since the game is free to play, you can just check it out, download it, look at it, and most likely you will have fun. Actually, I was puzzled when, with the release of Overwatch 2, they decided not to leave loot boxes alone, but to completely eradicate them in favor of the Battle Pass. because the Rocket League, another game that I always enjoyed, has the hybrid, system. They have both this system and they use them effectively. And for me, when I play Overwatch 1, I never was especially good at it, but I had a lot of fun. And for me, the purpose in the game was the loot boxes. How fun is that? I never bought one, and I will never buy one on principle. At least I will strive to it. And you could grind them through the dailies in the arcade easily. Therefore, you can get one random legendary at least once a month, but most likely you will get much more, much more, three, four, five, whatever. And what's good is that the more you have them, the more dust you get, like in Hearthstone. Because you get the duplicate, they give you internal currency which you can buy the skins you actually want. And that's great because before the release of Overwatch 2, I got at least one legendary skin on 80 or 90% of the characters in a roster. I almost succeeded in my task. It was good, but right now, Overwatch is in a twilight moment. It's either goes downhill from there, or it can evolve and move into the new direction. What I mean is, Overwatch is the rare type of game, and it's innovated the genre because it is a mix of MOBA and team shooter. When you mix Team Fortress with the Heroes of the Storm, kind of bizarre analogy, but since the tempo of the game is much faster than Team Fortress, and the purpose of the game is different, I don't see that much familiarity in that. It also has much more characters. And the developers betrayed me personally with many of their decisions. They don't deserve your pity, and I repeat that. Activision Blizzard is not a good company. It has pretty much nothing to do with the Blizzard of all, but they can experience redemption, and to experience that, they don't have to be. They just don't have to be stupid. They don't have to be stupidly greedy. They could be cleverly greedy, and the loot boxes is one of these things. There will always be some poor fool that will spend a lot of money on them, and it's just free money for you. Why don't you do it? And it adds value to the free-to-play players, so your servers are always full. I have no reason to play arcade nowadays, but before that, I played it regularly to complete these quests. And I wish that Overwatch will experience this renaissance because right now it has the first true competitor on the market in years, and that is the Marvel Rivals, if I believe the game is called. I haven't played personally, but my friends do, and it is the most direct competitor to Overwatch that I have seen. It is third person as opposed to the first person, of course, but it is cartoonish. It is fun. The heroes are diverse both in their roles as their abilities, and it is team based. It is pretty much the same type of game. And the developers of this game, of course, they have a lot of money. They have Disney behind them, but they release new characters very often, and the Overwatch is notorious for the lack of content because releasing two, three characters per year is just pathetic. You know, the game was released in 2016, so it is almost a decade. The game is almost a decade old, uh, and now they have 50 or so characters. But the MOBA games like Dota, League of Legends, they have hundreds of them. I know that it is a bitch to balance, but you shouldn't uh, you shouldn't strive for balance in these games. You should strive for fun. You make the game fun for casuals, and then you make adjustments to cater to the neckbeards. I believe in these games, and these games, because the Blizzard have a nasty reputation for it. They cater the game to their most hardcore fans, and therefore the ceiling of entry uh, is quite high for a new player. And let me give you an example. You can start playing World of Warcraft nowadays. The most recent expansion and whatever. And you will feel like a dumb shit because you will not understand anything. Or you will get, on the railroad for the most casual players that they given, and you will play pretty much single player game with the requirement of the internet to play it. You will have no need to interact with anybody. You can play pretty much alone, and it is a stupid way for an MMO to go to. But I digress, of course. I like Overwatch, and I wish for it to succeed. And right now, I think there is a good opportunity for the developers to make the change. And even though some people are upset with the idea of the loot box return, I think it is a good decision, and it is profitable for them as well, so it is not risky. Also, another news is about Overwatch is that the developers surrendered once again. They said that they are powerless to keep the old archives PvE missions in the game because the code of the game evolved so much that they are practically are you can't implement them on the modern engine. Who cares? I mean, these PvE missions were shit. And not the shit. They were terrible. They sucked ass. They were so boring. I mean, I did these missions on the first level of difficulty, on the second level of difficulty, and when some of my friends, told me, why don't we try the hard version or the legendary version? I was looking at them with such a sad face. Like, come on, it's not fun. It's the most boring version of the tower defense without tower. No, it was a bad thing. And when the developers were thinking about implementing PvE content in the game, I also didn't like it. So now they say that you shouldn't even think about playing these old missions again. And I say, thank God. It is a good change, of course. Uh, it is the the part of the game that I don't miss at all. So it's not a bad news. Nowadays, I think Overwatch needs a new creative vision. Gameplay wise, it is alright. There is a lot of new map types that I deeply enjoy. Some of the new characters, not all of them, some of the new characters are very good. Like Ramatra. Ramatra is amazing. I really like Ramatra. Ramatra is a very creative character, especially for the for the neckbeards because it is so deep. But there are characters that are bizarre not only in their design but in their purpose. There is a character I just stumbled upon. Venture or Vulture, I don't remember how she's called. And she is like the mole person, like the guy at the ending of The Incredibles. She has this drill, and she can drill on the ground and drill at everybody. But since she is that inspiring archaeologist, why the fuck does she go to the war zone? I don't get it. Because in Overwatch 1, it was established that all of the characters are either previously Overwatch agents, the relatives or friends of the Overwatch agents. They could be members of the Talon or other, groups of interests who are actively engaging in the operative work, and or they are, like dark horses. They have their own motives, like Symmetra or Sombra, or the Australian guys like Junker Queen and the Junkrat and the how it's called, the Pudge. I just called it the Pudge. I played on him so much, but I forgot how it's called. And Roadhog, yeah. His name's Roadhog. And new characters like Vulture. I look at the Vulture and I don't understand what is she doing here. Why the fuck does she, in a war zone? And I look at her design, and even though it has some charming elements, uh, I think it is an incomplete design. She is not, the failed hero, but she is underdeveloped hero. You can develop her further in means of the looks, of aesthetics, gameplay wise. She is alright. She is fine. I don't have any problems with her. But the other characters, you know what? I will not talk about Overwatch anymore, at least for now. If you have any questions about Overwatch, you can, write them in the comments. Another news is about not about the game industry, but about gaming community, and this is Twitch community. And the big news on the blog is that Tyler One drops his hardcore WoW Classic guild. I mean, it was for me when I heard what the intention was of Soda Popping and the game. When they brought tens and tens of streamers of all kind of communities together to play, I was feeling cringy already. But the good thing that the Grubby had fun. It was great, and Tyler One had fun. I think Tyler One is the best thing about these OnlyFangs business. I think he has a best perspective on a thing. He very loudly left the guild quite recently, in the beginning of the week, if I remember correctly, while bad mouthing all of his colleagues, compatriots in the rating. And he was, for the most part, right, because these people, they were pursuing him not to, beat the game, not to go to the truly hardcore status or just to have fun. No, they were pursuing him and the other, of their teammates to have clout, and that is just pathetic. Some of them are really devoid of charisma. They're really boring. And when you force yourself to stay nearby these people, I think uh, you experience degradation in that regard. So I am happy for Tyler One. But the fun thing is that a couple of days later, he came back to the game. Uh, and he came back to play with his wife. It is so sweet. It is good. And I like that he separates the community uh, from the game itself. I don't think WoW Hardcore is the way that the game was meant to be played. I think the original just PvP server is nice already. It's casual, it's light. The mechanics are simple yet fun. There's a lot to do, and the world is beautiful. WoW Classic is my favorite. WoW, and it is good that he can enjoy the game without that kind of stress, of the leadership of the guild that doesn't even respect him. That is just terrible. That is terrible. That is terrible. But I still hope that the show match between him and Grubby in Warcraft 3 will happen soon. I'm really waiting for it because Tyler is a talented guy. Really, he has a very loud mouth. He deserves attention, and he's smart. He's ballsy. So, even though he has no chance of beating the Grubby, I think Grubby is the person who can win the most gracious victory over him than anybody else. I think Grubby is mentally such a stable man that he can, not to get bullied into some inaccurate decisions. He's a collected man, he's established esports legend, and I adore Grubby. I love him. He's a great guy, very smart too. And that's pretty much it. That's all for the recent news. Um, um, as I said before, I am still going for the challenge. If you wish to know more about it, you can just check out the channel. There are videos there. And the next game that I will share my thoughts of is most likely be either Serious Sam or Bayonetta. And I guess I'll see you soon. Check out the Telegram if you're bored. Until then, have fun.